no mug on the Widowmaker. He's
No,
very sharp. So if we can get D-Field on the Widowmaker versus Sign on the Widowmaker, that would be the highlight for this series for me.
Certainly would be, but I don't know that Order are going to really be open to that. They are certainly one of those teams that likes to sit on the 3-3. A difference, of course, here for Athletico. They've gone for the bunker composition. You've got D-Field on Torbjorn even, so a bit of fancy stuff coming out here from Athletico. We'll see what they're going to be able to do against Order, and Adam immediately gets picked out of the mech. That is not a good start to the map at all here for Order. And certainly what you want as Athletico, to wait for the Orisa shield to come back on up. Quad sleeping out. But Athletico starting to get positioning on the point.
Yeah, Adam losing his mech early is not what you want to see. Leaves Quats very vulnerable to this Roadhog. It's Athletico taking a play out of the EU Contenders team, Clockwork Vendetta, who has been very popular in this comp. Interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, they're starting to lose some HP there, though, on Passo in particular. Wuvo will heal himself back up, but goes down very quickly in the end. And I think Athletico, they sort of missed their opportunity there. Once Adam gets the mech back, you see the re-engagement from Order, and they figure out how to deal with Athletico. It was more so a case of Order getting maybe a little bit surprised by what Athletico was running initially, with Adam getting picked off, and then once the equilibrium was restored, it was all the way of Order.
Yeah, lucky for Adam, he got picked off so early in the fight that the capture point wasn't unlocked. So by time Athletico looked to take positioning on the point, he was already back in his mech. And if Athletico give up that high ground where the pillars are on the right-hand side of our screen now, that's going to be bad news bears, because Sign can build those Graviton Surges so very easily, getting those right clicks over the Orisa shield, and Jordation, as you can see, those two both have their ults. The spam angles are great.
Well, Sign, his Graviton Surge kind of gets a little bit blocked there by Quad J with the wall. Athletico do survive on through it. Here comes the whole hog from Wuvo with the boost on him as well. But Order disengaging very nicely indeed, backing away pretty quickly. And the re-engagement will come out, although that is going to be hampered by the wall again from Quad J, who's doing a good job on this Mei. Just feels as though Athletico don't have the sticking power, though, in this fight that Order do. Lacking one healer, obviously. And every single second that this fight takes, it's going to be favourable for Order as they build up those percentages, up to 60% already.
And Signed again on that high ground, really taking advantage of these angles, and he's almost built another Graviton Surge. If they don't get him off this high ground, they're not going to win this fight.
Well, Blizzard's down on the point, and that is causing a bit of a problem for Order. They can't back away, and once again, it's Quad J that's really being a bit of a pain for Order at this point.
Yeah, we saw him bring out the Mei last week in that 3-3 composition. He seems to love this hero a bit. D-Field is known for a bit of Torbjorn too in the old ranked matchmaking. Watch out for his hammer kills, he loves going for those. Taking the point on the side of Athletico is really good here. It opens up Wuvo to get those hooks off the map, and also the Orisa halts.
Graviton Surge, but not going to matter.
That's exactly what we were talking about there. Getting that hold hook combo on the edge of the well, there's no chance of Sign living there.
You can see Passo's throwing his shield up in the air as well, just to get that little bit of extra time. Something that you don't really think about as an Orisa, or if you're watching, you don't really look at that. But if you throw your shield up in the air, it still starts cooling down before the shield even pops. So that's a good way to keep your shield uptime a little bit higher on Orisa.
Now, retaking this point can be a bit tricky without the Diva Bomb to clear the shield area. Looks like Quats is just going to go in.
Yeah, but they have the ability to get a Graviton Surge off the side of the map here as well, if that was the choice by Sign, but they're going to catch the backline more so than anything else. It's not the option to go for the shields. Sign actually survives there. He was going to get booped off, but gets pulled onto the point, not for too much longer though, of course, as he dies to Wuvo regardless. Hunter gets the 1-for-1 though, as Quad J will fall. Hunter being pulled off the edge, probably not going to result in a kill there, as he will just be able to wall ride back on up. But certainly Wuvo doing a lot of damage right now with this whole, this Roadhog.
Yeah, and Athletico looking really strong here. They've still got the Mei ult and the Torbjorn ult, those zoning ults, as you can put that down on the point. Order don't want to be standing in those, so Transcendence and Beat Drop used, so they don't have anything to counter this Mei ult. This point could go to Athletico.
Certainly could. I don't really know what the avenue in actually here for
Adam's
Order
Diva Bomb is definitely going to be the key here. If he can take out 1 or 2 with that Diva Bomb, maybe catch JJJ without his Ice Block.
I feel like that's
going to be the key.
Wishful thinking though, isn't it, really?
It really is a long shot.
Molten Core's gone down on the point immediately. The self-destruct hasn't done a whole lot, but the ultimates from Athletico certainly have. Whole Hog and Molten Core both netting a kill apiece, and if that wasn't enough, obviously the Blizzard went down as well from Quad J.
Here he comes with the hammer. He's got Yuki. He loves that. That's another one for the scrapbook for D-Field. As we saw, those zoning ultimates of the Mei and the Torbjorn just prevent Order from touching the point. The overtime ticks down, and Athletico will take out this first round on the pole.
Yep.
Sanctum getting a bit silly with the Clockwork Vendetta
It
composition.
felt a little bit clean, really, from Athletico, though, didn't it? Because, I mean, obviously, Order, they initially gave up a little bit of fight potential, losing Adam early on in the piece. They won that subsequent fight once Adam had his mech back. But then once Athletico actually retook the point, once they got themselves into position, once they really established themselves on the bunker comp, it kind of went pretty easily for them in a way. Like their ultimates seemed to be coming up at the right times. They didn't really seem to be getting picked at all. They were dealing with Signed really well. Every time he came in and looking for a Graviton Surge, he was getting hooked by Wuvo. So just seemed like it was all falling into place really for Athletico.
Yeah, Athletico managed to deal with Quartz and Sign, probably two of the star players on the side of Order, very well there. Quartz barely got any value out of those Primal Rages. He's known for getting massive value out of those. So shutting those two players down was the key to their success there. Quartz probably had the opportunity to really dislodge them and really get some good openings for Adam and Sign to get damage in, but looks like Order are going to swap just back to the basic 3-3 composition now, scouting that Athletico are only really changing into a Mei Goats situation. So Quad J back on that Mei. Seems like he's played more Mei than D.Va this time.
I don't think you'd be wrong, actually.
Yeah, he really seems to favour that. He's already up to 30% ult charge almost. So
And to be honest, if
well.
it works, and like it's something that other teams aren't necessarily too comfortable dealing with, then I can't really see a reason why you wouldn't want to be going for that Mei.
Yeah, it's something that's hard to find practice against too. Not many teams play this.
It's all going straight up. That is going to keep one or two of the Order players out of the fight, and Quat's totally isolated, doesn't have the help that he needs. The defense matrix wasn't available to him. Yuki was there behind the wall as well. So Order start off well, although they have lost Wuvo. It's a 1-for-1. 1-for-2, I should say, as Yuki went down there as well. Favourable, of course, for Athletico in this situation.
Yeah, Order tries to get the drop on them, splitting their team up so they can drop from both sides so their team isn't all walled out. Quats unfortunately goes a bit aggressive and gets himself caught out by that Mei wall. And here he goes again. He's managed to dodge the Mei wall though, he's killed the split. Gets the Zarya shield, he's going to be able to Earth Shadow here. Already used the Brick Stun, so this is going to be a free Shadow. I think he doesn't get anything with the Shadow. He's now caught. He's trapped and dead. Atletico is committing a lot of ults there, but it looks to be valuable. The rally comes out from D-Field as well, so they want to chase and take these kills. Jordation transing with his one man down. Very risky. Signed with the Graviton Surge, could turn the fight though.
Oh, not if there's going to be a wall straight away. Quad J is just being an absolute machine right now on Mei. He's putting in so much work with all the utility that he's able to provide. Blizzard's still 50% away. It's going to be a self-destruct through. That's not going to cause too much damage, but it will split Athletico. And finally, it seems as though Order will start to find the advantages that they needed in the fight, but it took a long time. 70% up here for Athletico already. And I said it before the match started, if Order gets caught napping here, Athletico is a good enough team to be able to take a map away from them. It might still well beat Nepal.
Yeah, and Order really threw everything in there. The beat drop and the rally came later in the fight just to consolidate and get that point capture. Now Wuvo has this Graviton Surge. Adam's going to have to try his best here, or maybe Quats can tank it with the shield, but that's the key to success. They get Quats and Yuki in the Graviton Surge. Quats has already taken out one though.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to be able to win this fight here, Athletico, with Reinhardt going down so early and Quad J as well being such an impactful player, having dropped. Just have to reset on that one. So a little unfortunate that Wuvo invested the Graviton Surge and they're not really able to get too much out of it.
Yeah, that was the fight to win there for Athletico. They had the Graviton Surge, no support ults on the side of Order, but they unfortunately, Quats just tanks it and they're able to commit all their resources onto him to keep him alive. So that's well played by Quats there, blocking those angles off so Wuvo can't get a big grab. He accidentally hits shift there, that's his keyboard stuffing up I think. But he's managed to bait them way more out. Sign goes down to it though.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a nice Earth Shadow, however, from Quads. Is it going to result in anything? Looks like Goobs will drop early in this one. 84% was he before the Transcendence, and that's a little unfortunate for Athletico losing him that early in the fight. Quads now the focus of fire. This is good from Athletico if they can force the fight on the point, especially with Blizzard and Graviton Surge coming up. This is their map now, right? This is their map to lose.
This is going to be really difficult for Order to take now. They have to manage to bait the Mei wall out so they can get Quats swinging into this Graviton Surge. There's only the Transcendence on the side of Athletico to counter the Graviton Surge, so Quats can get some kills through that. Adam has the bomb as well, so if they can get the cooldowns out, they can pull it off, but this is definitely Athletico's fight to win.
Well, Graviton Surge is going to go down early from Wuvo. He gets dropped low as well, but it's Yuki that is the first player to fall in the fight. Now Blizzard is doing so much work, and if not that, then it's going to be the Earth Shadow that'll be the nail in the coffin for Order on map 1. Nepal, a 2-0 for Athletico. Can you believe it?
I cannot believe it. That is very unexpected. Athletico playing these compositions, these niche compositions. Order wouldn't have a lot of practice against those, so they're really bringing it out and taking advantage of Order sleeping a little bit.
Well, that's perhaps the way that we may see the rest of this series go now as well. I mean, I don't want to call it too early, but that is a very strong, solid-looking Athletico. When Quad J is getting that much work done on the May, and obviously we're seeing good stuff from Paso last week on the Reinhardt, you start to feel like, okay, there might actually be a chance that Athletico could win this series. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I don't want to call it just yet.
Well, I mean,
I know Order's a very strong side. I know that they can come back into this, but that is about the best result that you could have expected from Athletico, and it really does give you hope that this is going to be a competitive series.
Yeah, it really does. When we were looking at this series before, I mean, you kind of look at it and you're like, Order on paper should take this. Athletico coming up through trials, hadn't really shown a whole lot. They managed to deal with the Mavericks last week, but I don't know. This is exceptional from Athletico. The way they're using their compositions is very good too.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, when we look at the rest of the map pool, you have to consider, okay, where could Atletico use the May or even use this bunker composition on the rest of the map pool? So for Paris, certainly you can see the bunker composition coming out. Hollywood, I feel like you could find some avenues to make the May work at least.
Teams have been playing this bunker composition on Hollywood defense as well. They've been substituting the May for a Junkrat, so it'll be interesting to see if Athletico do carry that across. There's D-Field with that hammer kill. He's actually going to be posting that everywhere. Very proud of those kills he is.
I don't know. I don't really get the sense, I think, that anyone on Athletico is much of a Junkrat player, at least from what we've seen in Contenders. I don't feel like any of these players really have been, okay, let's go on May, if that makes, or go on Junkrat, if that makes sense. Like,
no, I think they'll try and stick to this May composition or May bunker as much as possible. Now that they've obviously had success with it, they'll be feeling it. They'll be feeling confident. Order haven't figured out how to beat it, so I mean, why not keep running it?
Well,
Push it as far as you can.
Paris is the next map, right? So you could you foresee that coming out on Paris, the May?
Yeah, I could see. Maybe not the May. Teams use a lot of Bastion there instead of May, but I don't know. If Quad J is feeling it, then why not run it?
I kind of get that sense, right? I think it's just a thing where they're like, okay, you know what? Quad J's good on May, seems to be working. Let's give it a crack. If it doesn't work, you can always swap off. Although the issue would be maybe if you start on the defense, you lose your first point if it doesn't work.
Yeah, and now they have that one map advantage. Order are going to be fighting uphill, and you do feel a bit of pressure as a player, knowing that you're already a map down in a series. Like, if you draw one, then it gets all sorts of tight, and Paris is a hard map to cap sometimes.
I wonder almost if this actually adds more pressure for Atletico as well. You know, now that they're 1-0 up, they're like, oh, actually, you know, we might actually be able to do this, right? You could go into this series being like, and thinking, oh, you know, it's Order. If we lose this series, but we get a map, we'll probably be pretty happy. But you've started off with the first map, and that sort of changes the dynamic a bit. It's like, if you're down 3-0, you get the last map, you're like, oh, we did pretty well. But if you win the first map, and then you lose the next three, then you feel like, well, we didn't really capitalize on our opportunity. So I think that might be the situation that Atletico's in here. I would love to see how they go here on Paris. I really am interested to see whether or not they're actually going to be able to put a whole lot more pressure onto Order. Imagine if this goes 2-0 to Atletico.
If this goes 2-0 to Athletico, I will be very surprised, and there will be some phone calls to the Order army telling them to wake up, because I don't know, they're just not figuring out how to play against this bunker composition. They didn't try anything new. They just tried to run the 3-3 into it. So it's a hard composition. I know that, I mean, their practice partners might not play it very much, so it's not something they would have seen. So they've only really run through it in theory. So I don't know. It could be interesting though.
I'm sure everyone's been screaming on Paris, so they would have a reasonable idea of how things are going to go. I mean, we sort of looked at this map and said for Order, given last week's performance against Sydney Drop Bears, this is like a second chance for them to start the season off well. Like, okay, we sweep Sydney Drop Bears aside. Don't worry about it being only a 2-1. Obviously not the ideal result, but not a terrible result for Order. But we sort of thought, okay, if you get a 4-0 here for Order, they're right back in action. They're going to be 4-0ing everyone. Yeah, now they haven't, at least, they definitely have not secured the 4-0 today.
No, we looked at that Sydney Drop Bears game and we said, okay, they got the overall match win. I mean, that's fine. You know, they're panicking. But now they're one down versus Athletico, a match they were expecting to 4-0. Panic stations? Are we hitting the button yet?
Yeah, not quite yet. If it goes 2-0, then certainly. And the storyline for Athletico was like, okay, well, this is Atletico's first big test, right? Last week, they played against Melbourne Mavericks. Yeah, I mean, Melbourne Mavericks didn't really have the greatest of performances, it's fair to say. Now this is a big test for them, and they're actually kind of acing the test.
Yeah, they are, and D-Field going to this Symmetra, trying to get his team in really quickly, but they're not playing the bunker composition on Order, so this isn't going to be as effective as they want it to be. Order will be able to contest this very well. Weaver going very low, so low, but he's not going to be able to take it out. Design will be able to put that healer on and keep him alive.
I was going to say, if they can bait Order to fight inside those Symmetra turrets, they might actually be able to make this one work, and D-Field getting that first pick onto Quads. Whether that came from the turrets or from something else, who knows? But regardless, it's a player advantage right now for Athletico. They're making the composition work. Adam's not going to have fun going up against a Zaya and a Symmetra. He'll get DMAX straight away by D-Field.
No, and this is a disaster for Order. They're staggering onto the point super late too, so the snowball could be in full effect here. There's ults on the side of Athletico. That big barrier on the side of, well, player D-Field can use. That's a lot of damage to be blocked. If he can block that healing from Jordation as well,
yeah, true.
This could be a big snowball with a massive time bank.
Oh, they're getting ready for it as well. Looks like they'll just play on the left side of this wall here and force Order to come into them, which is also going to mean that they're going to have to come into the Symmetra turrets. This is perfectly played by Athletico. Quads, he's got the Primal Rage, but look at how fast he's melting. He almost goes down, has to get out of there. Earthshatter available now for Passo, and of course he hits a decent one. Signed on the floor. Didn't manage to get those plays with Quad J.
Self-destruct.
The self-destruct is going to do it for Athletico, I'm sure. They've only lost Quad J in that meanwhile. D-Field did go down as well, but there is a number of players available here for Athletico. This is indeed a very, very fast capture time if they do manage to get it across. Jordation over onto
the
Wrecking
stall
Ball.
comes out. Wrecking Ball stall is pretty powerful. He comes out into Baptiste as well. The grab, long distance, and not much damage getting put into it. Design with the sound barrier, managed to counter it out. Sign getting pushed very far back, but Jordation still captured, still on this point contesting. Yeah. He's lived forever.
Well, not for too much longer, as he does get picked off by Jordation. Unfortunately, the sound barrier coming up just a little bit too late for Unta. Adam with the mech coming across and the self-destruct there. It almost looked like he was going to get demeched. In fact, Quad J almost did as well. This has just slowed down a little bit for Athletico. Perhaps with this nano boost, they're going to be able to push on in and do some damage. Well, they've gotten rid of not a whole lot, honestly. Sign drops, but so does Passo and D-Field. Unta falls too. It just isn't quite a clean enough fight here for Athletico. You might be getting to the situation now where you're thinking, you know what, we probably have to reset.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a reset, I think, from Athletico. They're spewing in. Adam gets demeched, but Jordation's been an absolute nuisance on this hamster.
Yeah, that sound barrier might have turned things around, as we do see Athletico. They're still in here. They still feel like they can win it. Wuvo, he's doing a lot of damage. Design is caught in the Graviton Surge. Still alive, but not for too much longer. Another self-destruct from Quad J. Another kill from Quad J. And now it's just Unta on the point, but will be backed up by Adam just in time. And this Trickle is doing so much work for Order.
Oh, this Trickle is doing a lot of work, but it might be at the end now with the reinforcements. Again, you mentioned that sound barrier coming through. They finally captured, and that's a 5-minute time bank, I think it was. Yep. That's very positive signs from the side of Athletico. They managed to really execute that Symmetra strat really well. Quat's getting caught out on the first point, dying to that Symmetra turret crossfire. As you mentioned, it slows you down, it does a lot of damage. Yep. Probably wasn't prepared for it. And Order, they're shaky.
Yeah, that is very shaky indeed. And you got a question like, what is in the back pocket now as well for Athletico on their defense? Because so far in Nepal and on Paris, we've seen, we've not seen 3-3 at all, really, from them. So what do they go for here on the defense? Is Order prepared for it? Is it going to be a spanner in the works that Order isn't really prepared to play against?
Yeah, I really doubt that we're going to see much 3-3 from Athletico, if any, just because Order have been a team for about a year longer than this Athletico roster. So they've had the year experience on this 3-3. They've really worked out how to play against it. So why run it into them? Just throw a curveball at them. They're obviously not dealing with these curveballs very well. Order, see, look, they're back on that 3-3. Atletico on this composition. It looks a bit silly, doesn't it, when you see the Torbjorn and the Mei? Some heroes we haven't seen in years, honestly. I don't think we've ever seen Torbjorn be meta, but...
Yeah, no, that's true.
No, it's fun, though. It's good to see something a bit different. Roadhog also fun to see. Used to be very busted back in the day, but now not so much. A bit more even.
Well, I do like it. I think really what drew a lot of people into Overwatch was the idea of swapping your team composition to counter their team composition and kind of playing around that way, right, during the game. Which didn't really end up happening so much because obviously ultimates are such a powerful thing. But this may be something that Order has to kind of consider sooner or later because, okay, the 3-3 composition, it's been good for you, but if it's not working today against Athletico, if Athletico are playing compositions that kind of counter you and make your life difficult, well, something has to change.
Yeah, and I think Order might go back and change here. We could see the Sombra. Yeah, we're going to see the Sombra and the Moira out from the side of Order maybe. No, they're sticking on the Zarya. That's interesting. The weak point for Athletico is that Sombra. If you can get a good EMP off on these heroes, they are very vulnerable to just being dived upon by heroes such as Winston, heroes such as D.Va. But yeah, they're not going to
change is the Moira. The Zenyatta for the Moira.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this change from the side of Order, actually. I don't think it's going to do a whole lot.
Oh, that's a nice wall as well. It's really going to slow Order down, which will probably give D-Field time to get that turret back up. And all that meanwhile, Athletico are doing a lot of damage. Another
They're
great
running
wall.
straight into the spots where you can get walled off. They're not really thinking too heavily about these rotations. They're getting cut in half by these walls. At every wall is cutting them in half.
Yeah, Quad J's just absolute
D-Field
machine.
gets signed with the hammer as well. It's another one for the collection. Unfortunately, didn't get the last hit on Yuki again, but that's already 2 hammer kills from D-Field.
Hammer down. Maybe we start calling him the big hammer instead of Modern.
Yeah, I guess we have to. Although he's a little hammer.
He's
That
the
hammer
little
is
hammer, yeah.
quite tiny, in fact. But
I don't know how I'd feel about being called the little hammer. Not sure
yeah,
I'd
not
like
as
that.
good as the big hammer.
No,
is it?
definitely not.
No.
Well, Order have started to build some ultimates up. So last fight, okay, didn't go too well for them. This fight, you probably have Coalescence, you probably have Shatter, you probably have Rally. They can do something with it. Here comes Rally out from Yuki immediately. The turret does fall, so D-Field's damage output is not going to be quite as high. There's a Blizzard available here for Quad J, but he's just going to try and bide some time. Blizzard will come down now through the back. And while there is a fight that may
it's
be
a
looking
big
good,
freeze into Whole Hog. Weaver's going to get 3 here at least. He's pushing them all into the corner. No, he doesn't manage to finish off Yuki, the healing too much. He
2's
misses
enough.
The hook, but 3, there's the 3rd.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of ults from Athletico. That's everything. That's all 6. So now,
Yeah.
Order have to get value out of this Graviton Surge. They need to be able to get to this high ground, get on top of these heroes like this Torbjorn, this Ana, and really punish them. Otherwise, they're in trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to look at that Blizzard and say, yeah, you saw that coming. That was going to be a huge one. Still, I feel as though for Athletico, even if they do lose this fight, which looking at it on paper, they probably should, they've bought more than enough time to defend second. Holt gets it by the defense matrix.
Here they go. They push up right into them behind that Orisa shield. And they manage to get 2 with the Diva Bomb. That's perfect. They haven't even used this Graviton Surge yet, so they can carry that over onto the next point. Finally, Order. Signs of life.
Well, there's going to be enough signs of life. They will go into the next rounds if they do indeed cap out point B with a time bank disadvantage. We know that much.
Yeah,
How long
they
can
will.
Atletico hold here? That is the next question. You
Atletico-
say the Graviton Surge is there, you say, yeah, Shatter is there. This is where it gets a bit dangerous. Duination, however, is picked off early. Graviton Surge thrown in. Doesn't look like it's really resulting in a whole lot. Wuvo drops. But that's not enough done by the Graviton Surge to say Order's going to get this point.
Yeah, Order trying to rotate around to try and find the opening behind that Orisa shield for this Earth Shadow, but again, Athletico managed to pick off Geordie, which is a lot of the Order sustain. As you see Sign getting low, the whole team getting low, this beat drop's going to be forced out by Onto, I think. A huge shadow comes out from Quads, catches both supports at the back, and Wuvo down too. This drum's going to die. Everything's just falling apart on the side of Athletico.
It was really important as well that they got Quad J because he had Blizzard available, and that could have certainly turned the fight around. But still, he has just respawned. So will there be any change up as a result? Do they get something out of this Blizzard coming forward? The Tracer is there as well for Wuvo. Looks like Blizzard's been eaten by Adam, so no concerns regarding that. And we do go into the trickle situation once again onto point B of Paris. Passo on the Wrecking Ball. He's going to be such a pain to deal with. Backwards and forwards he goes, and Order just can't kill him.
Yeah, they haven't got the break, can't jump up that high and stun him. He hasn't got his Air Jordans on, but it looks like Order have managed to take him out, and they've managed to take out the rest of the team too. So they'll cap here with 350. And this is what I mentioned. This map is notorious for being snowball in second. These big time banks consistently happen on this map.
Yep. Well, you gotta say that was a little bit better from Athletico than it was for Order. But I would also say pretty good stabilization there from Order, because that really could have snowballed out of control.
Yeah, Order is still definitely in the game here. I mean, 3 minutes 50 to 4 minutes 50. There's a minute and 8 seconds difference. That's just one good fight, or one bad fight on the side of whoever's defending, or sorry, attacking. So, you know, it is doable, very doable here on the side of Order. And they look like the more they're playing this composition and they're playing against this bunker composition, the more they're figuring it out. They are smart players, despite appearances. So
Wow, that's
they'll
BM.
figure it out.
I'm sure you're gonna get some rude words on Twitter after this.
Oh, that's fun.
Let's not forget who discovered this entire roster. It was
Yeah, they know where their bread's buttered.
the Smash himself.
Yep.
Discovered, created, trained,
Oh, I don't know
fed-
about trained. Yeah,
fed and
definitely
watered.
Fed. Definitely fed and watered.
housed.
No, that was you guys.
Oh. Just trying to give you some props here, man.
Yeah, I need all the props I can get, actually. These guys tore me down. But no, as you can see, now they're gonna start off with the Moira here, so they are expecting the composition to come out. They're going for the Reinhardt, so they did that before. It is very good versus the Orisa Holt. Once the Holt comes out, you can't get the hook when the Reinhardt holds his shield up, so that's a little bit of a counter there, but Order looking like they need to figure it out sooner or later because they won't have much time if they lose the first couple of fights here.
Well, they've started
Oh,
off.
Paso falls down. He's a bit of an accident there, but Auto weren't ready to capitalize on it.
They've started off with the Moira straight away, and again, Quad J, of course, onto May, going to try and cause some problems. A hook goes awry this time by Wubo, and we're going to try and force the issue straight onto the point instead of going around. That gives less time for Quad J to make walls happen, and that might actually be a massive benefit for Order as D-Field drops early. Wubo really struggling to find anything here. He'll drop. Design doesn't have much of a chance on his own either, and unless we see a trade coming out right now from Order, it's already over.
Yeah, and that's what Order really need to do when they come up against this Ariza compositions. They need just to run at them, you know? Just hold W key, get Quats with his big 2000 shield, he'll close the distance, Adam can then Matrix to eat anything that's coming at you and get him really in melee range, ready to fight, ready to use that big hammer of Quats's.
Yeah, the difficulty may be, though, for Order when they do actually get onto point B here, that a lot of the Athletico guys are getting fairly close to those ultimates. So the run and gun kind of strategy, the run straight at Order strategy may not work as easily this time.
Definitely easier to rotate around on this second point than it is the first, but the Athletico don't have that speed boost, so Order will always be able to close the gap. Quad J with the May ult is going to be very important here. He manages to dodge the shadow and get the May ult out.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough here. There's only a couple of players caught in it. Well, Yuki will be finished off. Sign goes down as well, and the defense Matrix, of course, not an option when you are all frozen up. So Adam loses the mech.
He's being big staggered here too.
Stagger.
I want to see D-Field go for the hammer kill here. Add another one to your repertoire. Go on. No, he's not. He's being disciplined. He's not letting... Oh, the sleep dart misses. That would have been it, I reckon.
Honestly, I think if it hit, he probably would have just fallen off the map anyway. Yeah.
The momentum takes him into the drink anyway. But now Athletico have 3 ults to deal with the side of Order. And the side of Order don't have the best ults coming up. There's still a while on that Diva Bomb. If he can get that up, I think that's going to be the key. Because you can throw that... If Paso throws a fresh shield down, you can throw that Diva Bomb behind it, and then Athletico have to scatter to the winds. They have no Lucio, so it's quite hard to do that. So, I don't know. That's the key ult for me. The drum comes out early just to put pressure on them, maybe build some ults up on the side of Quad J and Wuvo.
Yeah, burn through that shield as well.
Yeah, prevent Order from running at you. I like the strategy. But they do need to be very careful of dropping a fresh shield here and then grouping up, because that will spell disaster for them.
D-Field does have this Molten Core as well. So if Order does try to run it at Athletico, they may have a rude awakening here, and this is going to be the attempt. Well, the turret goes down early, but Molten Core comes out from D-Field, and that is going to really halt the progression from Order. They've very much split up here. Graviton Surge is through, and it's a good one. But there is a Transcendence from Goobs. It will not be enough. 2 Athletico players go down, not to mention the turret there as well, and now we may be getting into a situation where Order camps out once again with time available. Quad J's dead, Wubo's dead. The point is captured. There's still at least more than a minute on the clock for Order.
Yeah, you saw the patience there of Order, waiting out that drum, and then they really bided their time to use that Graviton Surge in the right situation. They use it once the shield's down, so Paso can't drop a fresh shield to block the Diva Bomb from Adam, and then they manage to just choke them out of that gate. I mean, that's going to be the benefit of these Order players. They are very experienced, so they can understand when is the right time to use their ultimates and when's not the right time. Adam waiting until that Graviton Surge is ready from his side before he uses his bomb. Just small plays like that can be very, very beneficial on the side of Order to counter this bunker composition. Athletico did have a decent hold though. They took, what, 2 minutes off the clock? In all, Order managed to cap with 106 remaining.
They started with 350, so it took about 3 minutes almost. 2 minutes 45, I'd say.
I mean, that first fight really was the benefit, like the thing that broke the camel's, or the straw that broke the camel's back for Athletico. Yeah. They needed to hold and prevent Order from just running up those stairs at them, but Quats with his big shield just ran up those stairs.
I don't know what happened with the walls there for Quad J. It felt like he tried to get an early one as they were rounding the first corner, but when they actually got up the stairs, he might not have had the wall available. So
yeah, he dropped that wall to try and cut them off from rotating left, but then Order, once they got cut off, they were just like, okay, we're just going to run at them instead. And that's honestly the way to deal with it. If you get cut off, just all run to one position, one point, and they managed to run right on top of poor little D-Field's head.
It's going to be Symmetra once again here from D-Field.
I think Order will be well prepared for this and just ready to either collapse on this teleporter or break the teleporter itself.
Teleporter's going to go up
and
high.
They collapse on it. Jordy gets a big anti-nade, and that will be the end of D-Field and Goobs.
Goobs is still alive for now. Wubo does get the D-Mech onto Adam, so it is a salvageable situation actually here for Athletico if they can find the next pick, if their respawns come back in early Defield, of course, does have that teleporter available, so he should be able to get back pretty quickly indeed. Goobs gets dove upon, and there's no one to help him out. That's unfortunate indeed for Athletico. Despite the fact that a trade has come out, this is well and truly Order's fight to lose, and Athletico recognize that. They back away, reset themselves.
Yeah, Jordation waiting for them to take that teleporter and throws the anti-nade down. That allows Quartz to just burn through these squishies. Defield goes down instantly. Goobs dropped low, but didn't end up falling. Called that a bit too early, but eventually Quartz goes back in with the help of Zarya's shield from Cyan and finishes him off. And that's really how you have to play against this Symmetra composition. You need to be ready to collapse on top of that teleporter. That's going to be their weakness and their strength. And you can see the swap.
The teleporter went up high last time. This time it goes down low, and I think keeps Athletico a little bit safer, but still a good Bionade is hit. So 3 players go purple for Athletico, and 3 players go down immediately. Order, they're starting to learn. They're figuring it out.
That really is the key, and Athletico need to bait that out. They need to just send one man through the teleporter, hope that Jordy jumps the gun and throws the nade into a shield or something, because at the moment, those nades are getting too much value. Athletico have moved back on a 3-2-1 composition now, so you know, not much standard from the meta actually. It's pretty standard. Symmetra, of course, a little bit freaky, but you see Jordy going right in there to get that nade off. He might have overextended. He got brick stunned.
It didn't connect this time, and the Earth Shadow went down from Pasto. Now Graviton Surge is invested in, but Design still falls. Now Pasto's got that nano boost on him, but where can he do some damage? He's running around on the point. There's no one actually for him to hit. Order have just totally scattered, and that's a pretty messy fight, all things considered, from Athletico. Really seems like they're feeling the pressure now. Had a chance there, and they threw really everything in, but nothing kind of stuck.
Yeah, they did well to not get antied there with Jordation running right up to the Symmetra teleporter. That was actually quite funny. He runs straight up to it, throws his nade at his feet, but manages to get eaten by Quad J, so that's good from him, but they just didn't get enough value out of that Graviton Surge. They only take Unter down, not a huge player in this composition that they're running. Order managed to scatter. Jordation living there was criminal. He should have been dead for all rights.
There was a lot of players on Order that probably should have been dead as a result of that. Here comes Defield with the Symmetra ult, not something that we've seen so far. And makes the rotation a little bit easier here.
It is
from
centimeter perfect too. It makes it get on the point very, very easy. He can set those turrets up above that doorway too. There he goes.
Well, the dive comes in from Quartz, and he's going to try and wreak some havoc, which he will be able to do. Design and Defield both fall. A great chase from Quartz. And the self-destruct on through. Well, this is going to be Quartz's fight, isn't it? He is just absolutely running amok.
Yeah, getting that nano boost going in. Design didn't want to commit the sound barrier there, so it was an easy fight for Quartz. He manages to clean it up. They had no brig to sustain through the AoE damage. It's looking pretty rough for Athletico. It looks like Order's figured it out.
Yeah, minute 26, it feels like such a long time for Athletico, and that is because it has been such a long time. They had 4 minutes and 58 seconds going into this time bank. But that has really dissipated quickly. Still consider they have to get onto point B as well if they even catch a point A, which at this point it doesn't look like it's going to be possible. Quartz is doing too much work. He's been picked here, but he's got Primal Rage, and he's going to get it off just in time. And that may well be a death sentence for Athletico. I think it is. Goobs is so low indeed. He'll be finished off by Yuki. Wuvo fell to sign. Once again, Athletico just don't have the numbers on the point.
Quartz dropping dangerously low there, but the boys bail him out. He gets the Matrix, he gets the boop from Unter to peel, and manages to get his Primal Rage off and knock everyone around. But Athletico are going to have a little bit of an ult advantage, I'd say, with Wuvo coming up on that grab. There's no sound barrier on the side of Order, no rally, so the defensive ults are going to be pretty few and far between. So he needs to get value off this, though. He needs to catch 2 or 3 players in there. If he catches 1, Order are going to be able to commit all their resources to keep that player alive, and it's just not going to be worth it.
Well, both Gravitons go out, and Signs may have been better. Design drops early, self-destruct across from Adam. Didn't do a whole lot, but it really does not seem to matter at this point. Quartz, he had the nano boost on him. He was able to put some damage in, and the rest of the team follows on up. Pasto's the last alive here, and, well, not for too long at all. Design tries desperately to get the overtime secured, but that'll be the map for Order. And we secure ourselves at 1 apiece. Balance has been restored, at least for now, as we will shortly head into the halftime break. That must be a better feeling for Order than going down 0-2, that's for sure.
Yeah, Order definitely needed that. They managed to they looked solid on the defense there. They managed to figure it out. Quartz looked good going in with that Primal Rage and the nano boosts, and Really the big thing there was Sign's counter grab on that last fight prevented Passo from getting over and doing damage. Jordation was stuck in that grab as well, so he could have gone down and could have gone very pear-shaped if Passo was free.
Just sort of feels like the longer this series goes on, the more and more clued in Order is getting into how they need to deal with these kind of different compositions that Athletico is running.
Yeah, definitely. You've got some smart players on the side of Order. You know, they played a lot of Overwatch, a lot of ranked matchmaking versus these type of compositions. So once they get a little bit of experience as a team, it's going to be a lot harder to pull these comps off. That was a nice whole hog from Wuvo.
Yeah, and obviously the Blizzard there as well, helping out.
Yeah, the Blizzard whole hog combo is very fun. You know, you're locking all these players down, and then you can choose pretty much anywhere you want to put them with that whole hog, and it does a ridiculous amount of damage now too.
Still, that to me kind of is a decent sign actually for Athletico. Like that to me seems as though they've competed well in Paris. Sure, they got beaten by Order, but to even take them to overtime, you know, Order's the reigning champions right now in Overwatch Contenders Australia. They're probably the best team. I'd say hands down really the best team going in. We don't know how they're going to go out of this season. Probably still going to be perhaps the best team, but they are definitely not a team that you can really mess around with, and Athletico kind of is messing around with them a little bit.
Well, they definitely messed around with them on the poll, but yeah, it's good. It's good to see a little bit more competition. There's a bit of spice, a bit of closeness between these teams. I mean, Athletico, a team coming in through trials, so you expect them versus the reigning champions to be a pretty easy match for the
really.
for the reigning champions. But to take a map off them already and show signs in the second, it's good.
It is good indeed. It is good indeed. But how good is it going to be for Athletico? That's the real question. We still have 2, maybe 3 maps to go, and Athletico, they've been performing well, but sometimes after the halftime break, things do tend to turn around. So we're going to head to a quick one. We'll see whether or not Order comes back with a vengeance after this.